Can you put into perspective for those watching and listening right now, sir, what Scott Drew built and the odds against which he built them, this team?
Yeah, I don't think Baylor fans like remembering this, but 16, 17 years ago, there was a player-on-player murder at Baylor. One player murdered another one, and the coach at the time, Dave Bliss, came up with this ridiculous cover-up, not only to cover up NCAA violations, but to make it seem like the player murdered, it was some sort of drug issue, drug deal or whatever. It was the most bizarre thing you'd ever seen. And when Scott Drew, who was at Valparaiso at the time and had just taken over for his father as head coach, he wasn't even there for a year, if I remember right, as head coach. When he took the job, I think a lot of us, myself included, were like, are you crazy? You know, that's like coming up in a rescue ship alongside the Titanic saying, no, I'll captain this one. I got this. It just didn't seem to make any sense. And he's not only built it into a powerhouse, it's a model program. And it's a program that's got a great vibe. You know, anytime you're around it, they've got a wonderful spirit to them. And, they recruit at the highest level. Their players are all good guys, like at Gonzaga and other places. This isn't they're not just on a good run here. This is a program that has staying power for the long term. And they could have won it last year if we had a tournament. There were other teams that were right there with them: Gonzaga, Kansas, San Diego State, Dayton, some others, Florida State. But this year it was them and Gonzaga the whole year.
And then, over the last, what would you say, quarter century, 30 years, the Drew family has quite a stamp on this tournament and this sport and March Madness, from Homer Drew, drawing up the play for Bryce Drew, Valpo, one of the greatest shots in the history of the first weekend of the NCAA tournament, and upsets that we talk about for years to come. And now here's Scott turning Baylor into national champions after what you just described. First national champion in the state of Texas in men's basketball since the Glory Road, Don Haskins' 1966 Texas Western team. I mean, this is serious history that they're writing as a family, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, I think so. And they're becoming, and Bryce made the tournament this year at Grand Canyon. He had taken the job at Vanderbilt and gotten fired there after getting beat so much in conference play. But then he turns around, takes Grand Canyon to the tournament, which is extraordinary. So for that family to have accomplished all that, and I think all of them have had their success individually as well as together. It's really a nice story. They're really nice people. That's the main thing. I mean, Scott has always got time for other people. He's always putting others first and thinking about their well-being. And anytime you're there to do a game, he's always calling you. Hey, you need anything? And it's like, yeah, that doesn't happen very often. No. Usually we're chasing the head coach around, and he's calling you to say, hey, you need anything? That's a pretty good deal.
Hey, you watched all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Watch more right here.